of impactful local news as of late. And there are three things I want to communicate this morning, and then I'll leave it for Q&A, questions and answers. So first is really why we're here, the Pikes Peak Office of Emergency Management. So under the leadership of Andrew Nottbaum and his incredible team of dedicated public servants, as you know, the Pikes Peak Office of Emergency Management has been tasked as the lead agency to serve our community in the case of any kind of emergencies. And as you know, our city we're not strangers to emergencies, including wildfire. So that's what our Pikes Peak Office of Emergency Management does. But we're not in crisis. That's really important for me to say. But I'm here to ground the conversation in practical ones, not political ones. So as your mayor, I'm also always planning for worst case scenario. That's part of my job. And that's good leadership. Well, we do not want to be caught off guard without a plan. So the work that takes place here today, it's one of the key responsibilities of local government, working ahead to ensure our community safety in the case of any kind of crisis. These planning efforts are often not the lead story of the day or rise to the attention of the general public, but I think it's important that our community members know the critical work that is being done here. There are three emergency planning initiatives that are currently underway by the Office of Emergency Management. The first is our ongoing emergency preparedness in the case of an evacuation. The second is a coordinated response to extreme cold weather conditions to ensure that our homeless residents survive the dangerous cold. And the third one is the planning and the continued monitoring and intelligence gathering regarding migrants and the events that have unfolded in Denver and elsewhere that could potentially impact our local community. Let me reiterate, could is really important, that last sentence, as I've said in previous interviews. We don't have a crisis, and I'm trying to de-escalate our community from the notion that we do have a crisis. We do not have a crisis of an influx of migrants coming to our community. That said, we are planning for how this could impact our community. And I have some preliminary information to share with you today from the Office of Emergency Management should an uncoordinated arrival of migrants come to our city. So the Office of Community Management of Emergency Management is establishing a framework that we will share with the public Monday at the City Council work session. And this framework is based off of three priorities. Number one, identifying and taking an inventory of local organizations and agencies that could help relieve the burden on government. Number two, establishing what roles they would play in the case of a disaster response scenario. And number three is to determine the decision points that could trigger further coordination or action. It considers what those actions might be and identifies alternative responses. And as I said, we are planning to share this framework with the public on Monday at the City Council work session. So on multiple occasions since this topic has risen, my team members have fielded a number of questions from the public trying to confirm the presence of buses in town or migrants in hotels. We take each piece of information very seriously and we perform a thorough follow-up. We've chased down every intel that has come our way. However, all these intel are proven to be false. The rumors are there because of fear that has been stirred up in our community. But please understand, I take it all seriously, and there is a cost to the taxpayers. We do not have the system or the resources to keep up with rumors. I want to be clear that the first time my team heard about migrants arriving, independently of our city and the relationship we have on the state level, I first heard of this unsolicited information by one of our key nonprofit partners, which many of you are aware, Salvation Army. Captain Doug Hansen did the right thing to call me to give me a heads up. And through our Office of Emergency Management process, we're asking our nonprofits to share more of this information with us because it only benefits our community. In fact, last night I was on the phone with Andy Barton from Catholic Charities, just trying to pick his brain in terms of what he's seen or not seen as well. As I conclude this segment, there are a few truths to keep in mind. Number one, the migrant crisis, quote unquote, has the potential to further impact our area, regardless of the fact that I've said repeatedly, we're not a sanctuary city, and we will not be a sanctuary city. As time limits are now, number two, as time limits are now placed in Denver shelters, migrants might independently come to our region. We don't know that. We're anticipating. Number three, because of that, we're actively planning and preparing for what may come, as I believe that's good leadership and what's in the best interest of our community. And number four, without significant federal action, there is no anticipated end to this thing. So we are dependent on our federal partners to do something. Again, we will have more of that plan on Monday. Number two, the shooting at UCCS. The Office of Emergency Management was also activated on last Friday, in support of our partners at the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. What happened last Friday was tragic.